Each of us has our own unique background and story of how we became a part of Chiefs Kingdom.
Our reach is far and wide, with fans all over the world cheering on our Kansas City Chiefs.
Everyone donning the red and gold has figuratively signed that mutual agreement and come together for one common purpose.
For 76,000 of us at a time, to descend upon Arrowhead, man our stations, let out our loudest battle cry to the tune of 142.2 decibels, and make that stadium rock until our opponents beg for mercy.
We are unrelenting in our pride for this city, these players, and this team. This is the show for the Allies, Arrowhead Allies.
Welcome into Arrowhead Allies, everybody. And you know us. I mean, this is Nitro Noah Groniger, always being joined by Mr. Electricity himself, Clint Schweitzer from Hot 103 Jams. We've got Brian B. Shinen, of course, Shaggy Shane down there showing off our Arrowhead Allies t-shirts from Shaggy Shane Entertainment on YouTube. And out in sunny Los Angeles, as Clint likes to say, Hollywood, California, the Money Badger, Michael Matthew. And of course, this is your Chiefs show. We are the Allies, but we have an enemy invasion among us. We have our good friend, our buddy, the guy that softened my heart to the once Oakland Raiders, once Los Angeles Raiders, now Las Vegas Raiders. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Raider himself, the hitman, George Atkinson.
George, have you ever been this outnumbered before by Chiefs?
What propaganda?
You know, George, we've been talking to you for years. We had to finally go get some help here. You've been forum shivering us every week for 12
you brought
years.
The cavalry.
How are you? How are you, my friend?
Say again.
How you doing, sir? What's been going on?
Good. I'm good. You know,
Are you sure?
Soaking in some sun today. You know.
Are you sure, man? Your Raiders got it tough going on over there.
Hey, man, don't even go there. That was kind of embarrassing, wasn't it? To get blanked. I mean,
After the bye week, right?
the bye week and I coming off a win. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey.
There's some things got to be corrected. A lot of questions got to be asked and a lot of answers got to be given.
George, my first game at Arrowhead Stadium was the Chiefs against the Oakland Raiders on Monday Night Football in October 1977. The Oakland Raiders were the returning world champions, and the Raiders came to Arrowhead Stadium when I was 7 years old, and you guys beat us on Monday Night Football. It was an early October game. Do you remember that game, that Monday night?
Yes, I do.
Football
We
game?
beat you like a drum.
Yeah, but
I do.
we were up 20-14 at halftime, and we were feeling good about ourselves. But Ken the Snake Stabler came back, and he had Bolitnikov and the whole entire onslaught. Villapatino and you guys on defense. I just want to ask you if you remembered about that game, but it sounds like you do.
Oh, yeah. I remember most of the Kansas City Chiefs games. They were always good competitive games. The players they had were very, very good players. I mean, they had teams that were excellent, I thought. Team full of Hall of Famers, I think. And one guy who's not in the Hall of Fame.
Otis Taylor.
That should be his Otis Taylor, man. What a tragedy that is. You know, I played against this guy. I know how good he was. And for him not to be in the Hall of Fame, somebody's stumbling around on their job.
Amen.
More yards than Lynn Swan.
Yeah.
See, there you go. Yeah.
Hey, and Brian, George knows Lynn Swan very well. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, we know. Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah. Hey, George, you
Up
know
and close and personal.
Yeah. Hey, George, you know the makings of a Super Bowl team with you having being a world champion. Who do you think, besides the Chiefs, Eagles, and Bills, who do you think stands out in your opinion as the other teams to compete for the Lombardi?
Well, you named them basically. A surprise team. I can't pull one out right now. You know, the teams that are standing out are the ones that I would pick, just like you did. The Bills, I think the Bills look extraordinary. I think they're going to be very hard to beat. I think they're just going to get better and better as the season goes on. That's a team that's playing with confidence, and they got a lot of talent over there. So they're going to be hard to beat. I thought Cincinnati would have a good team this year, but they have injuries like everybody, I guess, and they have fell down. But the Chiefs, as always and usual, they're going to be the ones to beat. You guys definitely still rolling. You know, you got Tyreek Hill's gone, but it seemed like you just plug in other guys and you keep rolling. Andy Reid has a good offense, hard to stop, and you got such good talent over there. It's going to be hard to beat the Chiefs. It's going to be, I think, for the conference, it will be Buffalo and the Chiefs again.
Agreed.
Yeah. Let me sneak one more question in real quick, y'all. You're a graduate of Morris Browns, and I'm very intrigued on what Deion Sanders is doing to HBCU football. He's really taking a step up. Are you appreciating what he's doing? Are you kind of like some of the other guys saying it's a little too flamboyant for me?
No, man, that's BS. Most definitely. What he's doing over there, he's turned that whole thing around. Plus, the attention that he's given to the HBCUs. You know what I mean? A lot of guys are getting more exposure now because of Deion. Then you got a couple of other coaches that from the NFL.
Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson, who's
Grambling.
the Raiders, the running back with Tennessee.
Eddie George at Tennessee State.
Oh, yeah, Eddie George.
Yeah. Eddie George at Tennessee State. I mean, that brings, you got a lot of guys in that HBCU who can play, who just don't get the exposure, and in some cases haven't had that fundamental teaching that the big college kids get. You know what I mean? The exposure and what have you. And I think Deion has brought a whole new awareness to the HBCUs, and much power to him, and to those haters who talk about he's too flamboyant. Hey, that's on them.
Hey, that's how those Chiefs and Raiders teams were built in the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the whole AFL at that time. During that time, all of the top. Look at your Hall of Fame. It's HBCU.
Yeah, agreed.
George, I want to ask just how things are going for you in Las Vegas. I know you were kind of hesitant to go out there, and I know it's been a year or two now for you. Just are you staying focused? Are you staying out of the clubs? Are you staying out of the casinos? What's the day in the life of George Atkinson like these days?
To the office and home.
That's what I always told my mom too, George.
To the office and back home. No, Las Vegas is an interesting area. I'm a Savannah guy. I love Savannah. That's where I got all my properties and my residence and what have you. I enjoy being there. I'm here as, because of the owner, basically. And we go so far back, and I've been a part of this organization for so long. Their loyalty to me supersedes everything. I'm here because of him, basically. And I'm back and forth between here and Savannah. Las Vegas is intriguing. I'm not in love with it. Like I said, I'm a Southerner. There are some positives about it, but also there are some negatives. This is the desert, and I don't like the brownness. Where I'm from, it's all green.
Well, George, I mean, we've had you on our show for 10 years now. It's hard to believe.
Has it been that long?
10 years,
my friend.
Man, time
We've become good friends. But when you were just talking about the Chiefs, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Andy Reid, of course. You guys are one of the best teams. I heard some frustration in your voice. How frustrating is it for your Raiders to still be kind of finding their way, going through the coaches? You bring in Devontae Adams, struggling to get him targets. That connection with Derek Carr and Devontae that they had in college isn't translating, at least so far, kind of midway through this first season of them together. Just how frustrating is this time for you?
Well, it's more frustrating for them than me, I think.
You got the ring.
It's amazing. It's amazing when you talk about teamwork and you talk about guys playing together. It's a chemistry that is built with a group of guys who play together. You could have all the talent in the world, but if the chemistry doesn't mix, you're not going to come out with a winning formula. And I don't know if the chemistry mixes yet with this team. New coaches, new environment for a lot of these guys, a lot of guys coming from other places, a lot of talent. It's a lot of talent, I can tell you that. I see it in practices. but it just hasn't clicked. And that happens. There were teams back when I played had tons of talent. San Diego Chargers, they could never get over that threshold because they just didn't have that. And in order to get that, it's going to take a lot of guys to step up and be leaders. Then on good teams, everybody's a leader. Everybody's an alpha. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is trying to do the best for the team, for the good of the team. So I'll take my assignment. I'm gonna take it to the max. And if I do my work and do it well, I'm gonna see if I can give somebody some help if necessary. So it's a team concept, and I don't know if this group of guys have gelled together enough and been in the locker room with each other enough to develop that chemistry that you need to be a championship team, not just a winning team. I'm talking about a championship team. It's a difference between winning and being a champion. And in order to get to that level, you got to have everybody. You got to leave your ego, check your ego at the door. And when you walk in here, everybody's the same, and we're here for one reason, and that is the BTA. You know what that is?
No, what's that?
Beat that ass. Yes, sir. Beat that ass.
So George, what's your thought? Here in Arrowhead land, we're lucky to have Andy Reid, who's been holding it down for us for quite a long time. Him and Mahomes look amazing together. What's the thoughts out there in Vegas and with Raider Nation about Josh McDaniels? Do they feel that he is that guy to finally, beat the Chiefs and take over the AFC West, or have you guys found out this year he may not be the guy?
Well, your win-loss record tells the story. And what are we, 2-5? And we just got shut out. So something's not clicking. I mean, there's no way we could even look at the Chiefs now and compare ourselves with the Chiefs when we're getting blanked. I mean, our offense didn't cross the 50. That's just not acceptable. To have guys that the monies that we put out. You have Devontae Adams, 1 catch for 3 yards. Renfro, what did he get? 1 or 2 catches for 15 yards or so. I mean, those kind of numbers and that kind of production, you can't win in the AFC West, man. The AFC West got some teams that are growing as we see. Denver is a team that's going to be hard to beat in the near future. The Chargers have come along. Kansas City has been kicking BTA in for a long time. So, and for us to get to that level, there are a lot of things have to change and a lot of things have to happen. And it's up to the players. Now, don't get me wrong. Hear what I'm saying. Players play, coaches coach.
It seems like looking at the Raiders from afar.
Go ahead.
Oh, I think he's frozen.
Shane might have froze on us there.
George,
but
I do want to go to this to you, George, because FanDuel earlier today, I don't know if you can see this up here. We're going to get Shane back in here. Released their scariest NFL defensive players of all time. Yikes. This is FanDuel. And George, I don't know if you can see this graphic, but we got names like Ray Lewis, Dick Butkus, Dick Knight, Train Lane, Reggie White, Aaron Donald. We see all this. And where's George Atkinson? Where's Jack Tatum? Where's
Norick?
That's a good question.
Where's Derek Thomas?
Why is JJ Watt on there?
That's what we said too.
He's not scary.
Where's Derek Thomas?
There's a lot of names not on there.
Where's Charles Haley? Where is he? He was a monster.
Man.
Ronnie Lott. Come on now. That was one of the scariest safeties of all time, man. Come on,
all the names you just named, there's another list out, the 50 toughest players in the NFL. Jack and I were on that list.
Deservedly so.
The names you just mentioned, those guys were on. But lists come out every day. Is my man back?
Shane, are you back here? Yes.
Check. You hear me? Yeah. I was just curious if you think the Raiders, it's hard to get any continuity built because of the coaching changes. In the last 12 years, you went through Tom Cable, Hugh Jackson, you know, the whole slew of coaches. If the Raiders could just stick to a coach and a regime, I think that they could at least get some success, because there's been so much influx that each new regime wants to start over. Don't you feel like that they should give Josh McDaniels at least 3 years to prove himself, or do you think that they'll bring him out quickly?
It all depends. You know, it depends on players' reaction. We don't know how the players get along with him behind closed doors. I mean, there are a number of factors that go into that, you know, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Depending what happens this season. You know, what kind of record, how well these kids play, or if they don't play. If they go into the tank, he's in trouble, I think. You know, NFL, not for long. And that's for coaches also.
That's why. Yeah, that's why last year, George, when they had Rich Bisaccia and they were thinking about he was interim, maybe moving on from him, I was like, maybe you keep him, he's doing well, or maybe you go with a guy like a George Atkinson to be head coach.
No, don't want that job.
Why not? I'm interested in knowing. Why not?
Too old.
Okay.
If you were young enough, though, or if you were younger, would you be interested?
I did some coaching when I was young, but not head coach. But the head coach job is, hey, man, it's a lot of weight on you. You know, you got to be able to manage, 20, 30-some grown men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about your coaching staff, not including the players. So you're looking at a staff of over 100 people that you got to manage.
Right.
And you got to be on your job. I thought Gruden, I was on his staff when he was coaching, and I worked with the secondary. And I thought he had a good approach to the game. Had a good temperament, worked well with his coaches. The coaches loved him, so they gave him 100%. I thought he was on the right track until what happened, and you guys know the story on that.
Do you feel that warranted his release? I know that may be controversial.
No.
Do you feel
I think that came from the top office, and it came from top down. I don't know who he pissed off in the front office there with the NFL, but they had a dagger for him. 'Cause that whole thing started with the Washington Redskins.
right?
And they went back 10 years to get a conversation he had with Bruce Allen, which they were good friends. They may have, been talking about anything. And to bring that up and use it against him like they did, very unfair, unwarranted. And I think that was done with some payback in mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, George, I've been looking on Twitter all week with these Raiders fans, and they have been on the edge of jumping off of a building. They want to fire McDaniels. They want to trade everybody. This, that, and the third. Now, back in your day, you really only had, newspaper, TV, here and there, and radio. Now, guys are seeing these comments and it's put in their faces all the time with socials, and then you see it on Fox and you see it on ESPN and all the channels, and it basically you got criticism everywhere from fans, from media, from everybody. How do you tune that out? Because I think Jerry Glanville said once you start listening to the fans, you're gonna be sitting with them.
That's right. He's 100% correct, and you won't be cashing checks. It's like, listen, you're in a world where you're going to get praise and you're going to get criticism. Mm-hmm. And the way that you combat that whole thing is don't look at the praise and don't look at the criticism. Go about doing your job as well as you can do it and try to get better each and every day as a player. Once you tune into social media, you're dead. You're dead. Look at Antonio Brown. Look what social media did for him. Mm-hmm. A talented guy, but he was so wrapped up in social media, he was doing everything for social media, forgot about football.
Yeah.
You George, what I'm saying? So social media can wreck you if you pay attention to it. And I think the guys who are successful in this league have learned that, hey, I tune that stuff out. I play my game. I work on my game. People going to talk. They're going to say what they want to say. And if I let it affect me, shame on me.
That sounds like a head coach answer if I've ever heard one. I don't know about you guys.
Last one, Michael, you got one more?
Yeah. So George, just talk to me. Take us behind enemy lines, man. What is Raider Nation saying about the Chiefs and seeing Mahomes, knowing he's going to be here maybe the next 10 to 15 years? Like, what are the thoughts there with the Chiefs? Is there? I know there's fear. It has to be.
No
But
fear, no fear. Come on. Nobody fear nobody.
The
We just
hitman's
got
not
to
going to
get
fear
better.
anybody.
We got to get better, and we
Okay.
just got to put ourselves in the position that we're talked about, like you talking about the Chiefs. That Raider fans talk about the Raiders the same way.
Right.
So, but again, that goes back to who? The players. And like I said, players play, coaches coach, general managers are general manager. But the whole thing on Sunday, you got guys on the field who have to produce and have to put it on the line. That's why they get paid the big bucks. And when that's not happening, you get rid of them. It's just that simple.
George, thanks so much for the surprise visit here. You made our
Appreciate
day.
it.
Hey, man,
tell you,
thanks a lot, George. Even though I hated the Raiders, I've always loved, respected you, man. I grew up hating you. I remember you playing, man. You broke my heart when you beat us on Monday Night Football in 1977. When I
broke a
was
lot of
7 years
hearts.
old. I was 7 years old, but I remember you. I respect you. Thanks so much for joining us, man.
George, and I think we all owe you one. I think we all better get out to Vegas January 8th, Chiefs Raiders, so that we can be in the minority and you guys could take us over for a change. Because George, you've been coming on with us for so long, and you've been just coming right into it. Now you came into the Hornets nest again, and I hope we were pretty fair with you, my friend, because we respect you that
always.
much.
Hey, I'm the intimidator, not you.
That's right. That's for sure.
It's getting hot. I'm sweating over here.
Thank you, George. Thank you so much, my friend.
Anytime. I appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work, and don't be bashful.
You bet.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Love you, George. Thank you, my friend.
Take care. All righty.
You too.
That was super cool, man.
That was a treat, guys. You never know what's going to happen here on Arrowhead Allies. We had Mr. Raider himself, George Atkinson, jump in because why not, right? I mean, why the hell not?
Yeah. Hey, when you're talking about the best team in the AFC for years, they have to give us respect, man. They know what we're doing. So shout out to George for joining us.
I've told you, Michael, those Raiders fans have short-term memory. They're like a quarterback that can go out and throw interception after interception and just go right back in. To them, it's week to week. You follow Raider Cody on Twitter, I'm sure. Just follow that Twitter account if you want to know where that fan base's head's at. It's inexplicable, but it's
up their asses. That's where it's at.
Delusion. They love the word delusion. So.
That's where it's at.
Well, guys, I guess the Chiefs will return to play this week coming off of a bye. Chiefs Titans Sunday Night Football. We should, I guess, get back to business here because it's not all fun and games. We still got more than half a season to play. So the NFL trade deadline came and went today. It was all tricks, no treats for Chiefs fans. Noah and I are talking. We're pretty good with it, standing pat. Didn't give up anything, didn't make any big splash moves. Rashad Fenton shipped off to the Falcons. I don't think anything too shocking there. And like Brian mentioned, 27 is now open for business. So all good.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen now. Maybe next year, maybe not. I don't know. But sorry, Noah, for that. The Chiefs have look. What is the difference between Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco? You didn't break that down for me last week. I just want to know. I think they're very similar in so many ways. Now, yeah, Kareem Hunt, he has the experience. He probably has better hands, probably a little better in pass protection as well.
Power. I mean,
running. Yes, he probably got him in that too, but nah, Pacheco, he ain't got him in power now. I think Pacheco got him. I think Pacheco might got him in power. I don't know.
Kareem, you did watch those highlights a couple weeks ago, right?
I did. Look, Kareem Hunt he's a great back. He would be the best back on the team if we were to get him. But what I'm trying to say is, Noah, he ain't necessary. Why give up assets? Why give up assets for Kareem Hunt when? And that's my point. I feel like we already have a prototype of Kareem Hunt on the team.
And I think you got it, Zach.
I want to say this for Noah has to say something. You have to remember when Kareem Hunt took over the very first game, he had to play because Spencer Ware got hurt in that preseason game 2 weeks before the game at New England. So Kareem had to perform. Isaiah Pacheco, maybe if there wasn't a Clyde there, let's say hypothetically a worst case scenario, Clyde gets hurt in preseason and we have to rely on Pacheco. The situation with Kareem Hunt, day one rookie, he had to come in and start because we had nobody else. We had Charkandrick West splitting time with Kareem Hunt, and Kareem Hunt fumbled his first carry. So he had to get better immediately after that, and he shined. We haven't seen Isaiah Pacheco just yet to make that comparison. I know what you're getting at, Brian, and I understand it.
I got you.
I think that they aren't putting Pacheco in the same light as Kareem Hunt because they don't have to, because they had to with Kareem Hunt because of Spencer Ware's injury.
Yeah, but I just think that there's a difference between why you're drafted in the 7th round and why you're drafted 3rd, like Kareem was. And because, they saw the talent that Kareem had, his ability, and that Spencer Ware thing just came down to, they're always going to give the veteran the opportunity. The only reason why Clyde started as a rookie was because Damian Williams decided to step away. So I just think that, if Pacheco was that guy, eventually he would have taken the job away from Clyde. But it's going to take some time. There's some things that I hope to see him do better. But, he's going to have time to show it, so I can't wait.
I'm not out on Pacheco. I think he can develop into something. He's not there yet. I don't think he's ever going to be Kareem Hunt. I mean, that guy is special. And Shane, yeah, you could say because Spencer Ware was out, Kareem had to perform. Well, no, he didn't. Like, he had to be put into the position. He had to start, but he didn't have to perform. He could suck. That's allowed. We've seen a lot of that here in Kansas City over the years. So he could have just come in and just stunk up the field. But no, he's a great running back. We've seen it in Cleveland. He's not getting the chances there. He's not getting in a rhythm. He's not getting enough carries, and he probably shouldn't.
He was in a rhythm here. It's more crowded here than it is in Cleveland.
Here, Kareem's the starting running back. Everyone else can just do whatever you want.
You think he would? You think day one? You think giving up? Okay, Chiefs give up a 4th round conditional 3rd to the Brown pending playing time or whatever to the Browns, right? Okay, bro, Kareem Hunt is going to be splitting carries with the 3 other backs you got on the team. You think they're going to? You don't think McKinnon is going to get PT? You don't think they're going to want Pacheco to get PT?
Of course, Kareem Hunt gets tired. He's not a robot.
So you trade a 4th round conditional 3rd for a 2-down back?
No, I think he plays all 3. I think that you trade, like, if that would have happened, they would have traded Clyde somewhere. And then Pacheco will be the emergency back, the kick return guy. And then you have McKinnon to help on 3rd downs. But I don't even think Kareem is the same Kareem that we had.
I don't either.
Yeah,
and another thing, if you're going to trade a 4th conditional 3rd, do it on defense, bro.
No,
get for Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn went for a 4th.
Yeah.
Quinn went for a 4th.
Offense. We already have the best offense in the NFL.
Bro, get some defense out here.
Yeah.
I would be happy to get Kareem Hunt. I'm just saying from a GM's perspective, I put my Veach hat on. I'm not doing that. It's a running
We've
back.
got some questions here. We're talking about the people kind of disappointed didn't go after a pass rusher, but I got to just throw this to you, Brian, because I know you were kind of talking about this, and Michael, you mentioned, hey, we need help on defense. I just want to go back to 2019. You pay $100 million for Frank Clark. In 2022 here, you're drafting George Karlaftis in the 1st round. You brought in Melvin Ingram. You've swapped him out now for Carlos Dunlap. You drafted Josh Caindale. You drafted Mike Dana. I'm sorry, I can't help you guys out anymore. I've tried. I've allowed you to use our freaking resources on pass rush for the last 3 years. It's not working out. We keep trying to throw bodies and numbers at the position. I can't give up any more assets for it. I can't help you.
You're talking about D ends. I think the Chiefs need D tackle. We lost Warden for the year.
Open to that. And I think Shane had mentioned Ndamukong Suh still out there.
For somebody like
that
Suh,
would have been the move.
I like that.
I'm
He's
down
still
with that.
available.
So he's still
I like
available.
it.
So I'm hoping that's why they held out, to say, hey, let's call up Suh, because I think that's where I think our DNs are solid. You have Chris Jones. He makes people better around him. If you add Suh, now those guys are really getting one-on-one matchups, and I think you will see the most from our DNs if we make a move like that. So I'm hoping that we do it because, we need that guy. Our run defense has really struggled since early in the season. So if they can make that happen, man, hey, look out.
And Shane, I know you're going to Shane. I was going to kick it to you. I know you're concerned about Derrick Henry, obviously King Henry, Chiefs, Titans. It's always weird games. We've lost a lot to them and we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So
Well, Derrick Henry's carried the ball 32 times for 220 yards against the Texans. I know we're not the Texans, and they were doing that because the Malik Harris was our starting quarterback, and they weren't passing much. But the Chiefs have been getting shredded on the ground the last 3 games. They still have Danny Shelton, 6'3", 200 or 355-pound guy on the defensive tackle. He's a big body guy he was a journeyman 8-year guy. It's been on the Patriots, Browns, Bengals. So he's a big body guy. I hope, and I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to Spagnuolo in the defense to pick up that slack for what the trend. It's not going good these last 3 games, especially with Derrick Henry coming to town. So, ideally, when you look at free agents, I like the name escapes me. I posted it. The guy from Missouri and Ndamukong
Sheldon Richardson.
Yeah, Sheldon Richardson and Ndamukong Suh. I like those guys if they're physically able to come in and play at some way, shape, or form. And if Veach or if Spagnuolo trusted, I would like that. But again, they got that big body veteran, Danny Shelton, on the practice squad. So we're going to have to see what they do specifically to slow down that running game because we've been getting gashed last 3 games. So
I think there's a big name that's going to help, and it's not a defensive tackle, a cornerback, Trent McDuffie. I think the Chiefs kind of have been worrying about the past, playing against the Raiders, Buffalo, Niners with like the weapons that they had on the outside. But I think if they trust Trent McDuffie, like, a lot of us believe they do, that they can be able to kind of blitz more, put a few more bodies in the box to help if Trent McDuffie is truly that guy. So we're going to see early. I'm not sure yet if we're going to get Malik Willis, but if we get Malik Willis, I think that it's going to be a long day for the Titans. But I think that McDuffie's presence.
That's Brian's Rookie of the Year you're talking about.
My plan is slowly coming together because I said, look, I thought that Tannehill, either way, unfortunately, it was by injury, which you never like that. But I thought it would be by his play and by the lack of wins that the Titans would have, that he would be on the bench and Malik Willis would start his Rookie of the Year campaign. Off to a rocky start in Nashville, but he ain't gonna get it going this week. But maybe next week.
Yeah, we got some people like Shane over here remembering the Titans of last week, just a few days ago here when Derrick Henry ran for over 200 rushing yards. But I mean, if you're down 14, 17 points, like I think they're going to be to the Chiefs, you're going to have to abandon that run game. And so I'm over here. I'm just going to forget the Titans, the 5-2 frauds. They've beaten the Washington Commanders or the Winnetonka Griffins. I'm not sure. Maybe our old high school Clint. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders, the Colts twice, and we just saw what they did to the Texans, 17-10. Not very impressive to me, but hey, I'm going to forget the Titans. What do you say, Brian?
Oh, these Titans, they're going to be pesky this week, man. They really are. But the thing with the defense, though, somebody in the chat asked about how do the Chiefs stop Derrick Henry. You cannot let that man get any momentum going. You gotta stop him within the 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, either before or after. But you let him get going, and that freight train is going all the way to the station for a tutty. All right, so that's the thing, man. The Chiefs got to play up close. I think, because I'm thinking always, going to a game, I always think I put my headset on, I put my coach's headset on, and I think, how in the hell do we stop this team? Bill Parcells said every game is winnable. You just got to figure it out. And I think the way to do it is constantly stacking 7 in the box. I don't give a damn about Malik Willis throwing the ball. I don't want you running the ball on me. So you got to kind of play this team like the Ravens a little bit. It's going to be run heavy. And the Chiefs show the propensity to put a stop to that with the 49ers. Although different team, different scheme with the Titans, the point is that the Chiefs need to bottle up this run game as quickly as possible as soon as that ball snaps, so you don't get Willis and Henry going.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. I think that you have to start off fast. The Chiefs kind of been starting slow offensively, but if we can start fast and get a lead, that I think that's going to change everything. But yeah, we're just going to have to attack. Like I said, with the the arrival of McDuffie, with him playing, he's the trade deadline addition. And all the young corners, if they can do their job and take away any play action, any big plays in the past, I think that the Chiefs, can handle the Titans really well. Last week, I was like, are they running the wing T against the Texans? Like, they just run every down. I think the Chiefs are way too good for them to lean on that. But have we got any word on Tannehill? Is he playing or not?
Not
I
yet.
haven't heard
Not
I
yet.
heard anything.
Yeah,
I think they'll probably hush about it until Friday.
Yeah, gamesmanship.
Yeah. And the 3 home games that have been at Arrowhead this year have all been freaking nail biters. Gone down to the wire. We're 2-1 at home. We're due for a blowout, but it's Sunday night prime time. We got to do it. If there's going to be a blowout, I know people might be saying, well, Jacksonville will probably be a blowout. Man, we're due for an easier game, man. These freaking home games are killing me.
I've said it once. I've said it 10 times. There seems to be a different energy level, focus. I don't know what it is on the road. We're going to have to figure this out, though, because we got some big home games coming up, and you're going to have to really start. And this is a big game for seeding because, guys, you looked at the wins that the Titans have there. They play in the AFC South, and there's a lot more wins out there for them. They're going to win the AFC South, and you don't want to get caught in some kind of weird tie-breaking loss with the Tennessee Titans where you're now the 3 seed or the 4 seed because of it. So the Chiefs need to fatten up on AFC opponents. They've got 2 in a row. The Titans, they scare me a little bit up front. I got to be honest. I think that we saw last week their defense just played a whale of a game, albeit against the hapless Houston Texans. But Jeffrey Simmons, man, up front, really creating some havoc right now. 5.5 sacks. And Weaver at linebacker already has 4 sacks. So they could do some things. I think that the Titans, and that to Michael's point, if their idea of muddying this game up, getting some stops, forcing some 3 and outs, maybe a turnover, and then allowing the Titans to, move the ball, get first downs, move the chains, run the ball, muddy it up. That's the recipe. And the Titans have used this recipe in 16, 17, 19, 21, which was 27-3, and something that was a complete aberration because Patrick Mahomes has only lost like 2 games in history by more than 1 touchdown. So that's kind of an outlier. But no, I think the Titans can do some things to muddy this game. We know as a coach, we know that Mike Vrabel's very capable and is not going to fear Andy Reid and this Chiefs team coming in here. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can't stand playing these AFC South teams, including Jacksonville. I can't stand going to Jacksonville, man. These the AFC South is tough on the Chiefs. They really are, especially the Titans. You just mentioned all those games. The Chiefs had no business losing this team in 2014, week 1. We remember that debacle? One of the most unexplainable losses in the Andy Reid era. I didn't get that game at all. 16, when Ryan Suckup came and snatched our hearts out again. Ryan Suckup, that bastard. Have you noticed how much he's killed the Chiefs since Eddie Reid cut him and got Cairo Santos? He's killed the Chiefs. Seriously, almost yes. It seems every year he comes back. He beat us in the Super Bowl too, bastard. Anyway, and all the other games that you explained, the Marcus Mariota throw to myself off of Revis Island. I can't stand playing these guys. I don't get the mojo between us and the Titans. Is it because they moved to Tennessee? Because we used to spank the Oilers. Is it because they moved to Tennessee? I don't get it, man.
The Derek Johnson on Marcus Mariota forward progress when he came blitzing through the A-gap, just murdered him, fumble. Oh, wait, no, his forward progress was stopped once you hit him.
The Chiefs just have to start early, man. I think one of those games is really, let's start off early. This might be a game we say, hey, we win the toss. We want the ball. Let's go and get 7 so that we can let them know, hey, you guys running with Henry is not going to be enough. You're going to have to pass this ball down the field to beat us. And I don't think that the Titans can do that without A.J. Brown, without, what's his name, the receiver that they had, Corey Davis. I think that, it's going to be much tougher because they just don't have the weapons on the outside to hang with the Chiefs. And if the Chiefs can get that lead, it can be one of those ugly 41-17 wins for the Chiefs.
Shane, I have a question for you. How do you feel like we've learned today Trent McDuffie is active? First game since week 1. He played a few series there against the Cardinals. How do you work him in? Rashad Fenton's traded away. Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson, 2 7th-round picks that have played in his stead and played well. How do you work Trent McDuffie into this game here?
I think he's ready. I think what helps Trent McDuffie is he's finally ready, and he's going up against a team that's not really going to be showing him a bunch of different looks on offense. Their wide receivers and their passing game aren't really going to be testing McDuffie. At least I don't think. The only way they're going to test McDuffie is if they get a wide receiver matched up one-on-one and they play action, and it's just him on an island going deep against the whoever their main wide receiver is. We don't know the Titans wide receivers because they traded their best one to the Eagles, who's the difference maker in April. So I think McDuffie, I think he'll be back, and I think he will be ready to shine and show what he's worth on prime time. I'm stoked about McDuffie's return. I'm stoked about the entire secondary altogether with these three rookies. You know, it's something that Lance Twidwell and I talked about when we were up at training camp. Is Spagnuolo going to hesitate to put in these rookies? Today showed that, not to mention just Trent McDuffie, trading Rashad Fenton shows that Spags isn't afraid to play Josh Williams, Trent McDuffie, or Jalen Watson. I love it. I love the new nucleus of our secondary and our cornerbacks. I'm stoked. I'm thrilled McDuffie's coming back.
If I'm the Titans, I'll do a pitch over or a toss over to Derrick Henry to Trent McDuffie's side and see if I can get a one-on-one tackle situation there and see if we can leave some footprints on Trent McDuffie. But we've got apparently Adam Schefter's in the comments here going under the guise of Morgan here. Says Tannehill will play Sunday. It was just an illness last week. So thank you, Adam Schefter / Morgan, whoever this really is.
I hope not, because the Chiefs had the last ranked passing defense. Now, some of that is due to, the Chiefs being ahead in some of these games, but I believe in our young corners and our young secondary. I really do. We've been beat up with injuries, and it looks like we're getting some some guys back. But look, man, you made a point earlier, Michael, that I liked. You got to take Henry out of the game. You got to take him out early. You got to. And in order to do that, you got to bottle him up inside. Don't let him loose. And if Tannehill plays, I'm not liking that at all. I'm not like, Tennessee is extremely frisky. And we're going to get to the picks a little later on. But I think you all can sense what I'm feeling this week.
Well, what do we think about? We've kind of touched on trades a little bit here, but we haven't really gone all in on Kadarius Toney coming over from the Giants. What kind of role do you think he's going to play in this Sunday night matchup? A lot of people are thinking punt returner. Does he get any receiver duty? Is it too early for that? Michael, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think that he gives us another gadget guy, just to, throw at people. You can do a fake jet sweep to McCall, and here comes, Toney on a jet sweep. And then he's going to help us where we really need help the most, and that is punt return. Sky Moore, love you, young guy. We don't need you back there returning punts ever again. Toney gets to be back there and, make some plays. He was really good at Florida as a punt returner. And then they're just going to find some ways. It's Andy Reid. He's going to find ways to get speed on the field, and he's going to find little ways to take advantage of it. So I'm excited for him. I do think it's more of a future move for the potential loss of Hardman, but I think he's going to find ways to get this guy the ball. And, if he can make some plays, just imagine he makes about 5 to 6 good, big plays the rest of the season. That can be the difference with the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl with, a punt return that he has, a big pass play where he gets a one-on-one or one of those jet sweeps. And then injuries, McCall was dealing with his injury earlier in the year. You got a guy that can kind of take his spot if he's out.
I'm stoked. I love the freaking addition of Kadarius Toney. He's just wait until he gets more of the offense down. I think we're going to see just in spurts. I think he's just going to be a punt returner this Sunday, but specifically, and I have to say this first. I have to start it off by saying he's not Tyreek Hill. So we got that out of the way. But in Tyreek Hill's rookie season, the defense and even Chiefs Kingdom, we didn't know exactly what we could do with him. But then we saw a sweep to him for 80 yards on Sunday Night Football on Christmas night against Denver. And then we saw how they started using Tyreek Hill. I think we're going to see that in certain situations in the weeks coming up that with Kadarius Toney, where we're going to see his explosiveness. We're going to see how Andy Reid uses him, and it's going to open up so much more that it's going to be like he's going to be the missing piece. I'm stoked for Kadarius.
I love it.
Yep. I'm stoked for having him for not only this year but the years to come, because we're going to be analyzing this next spring when we're all sitting together. Kadarius Toney is the eventual replacement for Baby Cheetah McCole Hardman. But for this year, it's going to open up so much more as each game progresses, as each more Kadarius Toney gets down with the offense. The Chiefs wanted him in the first round last year, but they didn't get him because they didn't have a number one draft pick.
Right.
Stoked. I can't wait.
Brian, agree, disagree, Brian?
Oh, I share that excitement. I can't wait. He's already made a difference in Madden.
We all agree.
Okay, like seriously, like I can run some of my Tyreek Hill plays again.
He did take Jeremy Macklin's number, who I'm a big Macklin fan, man.
Yeah.
But
Joe
you know,
I'm a big Joe Montana fan.
Exactly.
I'm a Devin
Or
Wiley. How
Devin
about
Wiley.
that?
Oh yeah, there we go. Look, the Devin Wiley number. But look, yeah, I'm excited about Kadarius Toney. It's definitely a move for the future. Andy Reid at his press conference the other day said that he'll sprinkle him in a little bit. You know, he said he's healthy.
I like it.
The hamstring is not an issue, but this is definitely something for the special teams, because I think Veach was like, well, we will probably be 6-1 now if if we had a legit kick return. I like Sky Moore and I believe in the young man, just not in special teams.
Fair enough. Well, I think it's a good time to go to our predictions here as we head into Sunday Night Football. I'm gonna have to give mine first real quick and get out because, guys, I have a conflict. Shane, you're the only person here that's gonna understand me, that's gonna understand the strife that I'm going through. Is a year ago, one of my favorite bands, Wasp, you're gonna know, announced a first U.S. tour in 20 years. I bought tickets a year ago, and what happens? Sunday Night Football coincides with the game, and I got to go and see Wasp Sunday Night Football. You guys are going to have to help me out doing some pre's and posts. So I'm just going to give my prediction and get out of here because my opinion really doesn't matter, because I'm going to be at a concert with the game on. My favorite Wasp album
Watch
right
that
there.
Concert on YouTube.
Well, it's going to be the other way around. Chiefs game on YouTube TV, concert in front of me. I'm just going to say Chiefs 31-23. Kind of one of those forgettable games that the Chiefs hold on to win late. Michael, take it from here, buddy.
I just think the Chiefs offense with a week off, they're going to be ready to go. Those guys are going to make some plays. I think the running game, they're going to figure out some stuff that, hey, I think this works better for our running game that we need to do. Hopefully they go north-south. And I got a 34-20. I think the Chiefs take care of business. The Titans get some late touchdown scores. I think the Chiefs are going to come out early. They had their struggles the last few games starting slow. I think they come out early and they pounce the Titans there in Arrowhead on Sunday night.
Well, I think it's going to be muddy. I don't think this is going to be a pretty game at all. I think the Titans are going to try to shrink the game as much as possible, as we've discussed. But I do have the Chiefs squeezing it out because we're coming down the home stretch. We know the story about Andy Reid coming off a bye. Hopefully they start out fast. I don't see it that way, but the Chiefs squeeze out a dub 23-16.
Well, I know you called muddy because of the way the style the Titans play. It's supposed to rain Friday and Saturday, but it's going to be nice Sunday, so it shouldn't have any mud. But I know that wasn't your intention, Brian. I'm just having fun with that.
I appreciate you.
Don't make this your tie, Shane. Don't make it a tie.
No. This isn't a tie. The Chiefs get right, coming after a bye. This November is Andy Reid's month. Look at him, his entire tenure as a Chiefs head coach. He shines in November. I don't know what happens to him in October. Throughout his entire tenure in October, it hadn't been pretty, but this year has only been 2 losses. One loss because the other loss was at the end of September. Long story short, I like the Chiefs to finally stop the running game. I think they shine in prime time and win easily 34-17, your Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh boy, man, I've got a party, guys. I think they're going to try and get that run game going, but the Chiefs are going to eventually stop them on a third down where they're going to have to throw, and then they just take off, and they're 14 up, 17 up, 20, and they just have to abandon the run game altogether. I say 41-20. This is Chiefs all day. Tannehill can't get it done. If Adam Schefter's right, Tannehill is playing / Morgan, whoever that is. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being our Adam Schefter for Arrowhead Allies. We appreciate it. And guys, I've got a party going on here. I don't know what some of these close scores are, Brian, but man, Derrick Henry, they're just going to have to go away from it. Can't do it on 3 scores.
They don't scare you on the outside, and I think that's going to come back to hurt them because, you still have to fear A.J. Brown. You couldn't just say, we're going to leave our corner on him and let him go one-on-one. Nah, he will kill you. See what he's doing with the Eagles, and they just don't have that this year.
Hey,
So
Brian did warn us against heading into Indianapolis, so I'm going to
True, I
heed his
shouldn't
warning
go.
a little bit and keep that in the back of my mind. I've got it as an 8-point win. Brian, you got it a 7-point win. So I'm more on your side.
I want to give a shout out, man. Shout out to the NFL. Whoever knew that the NFL trade deadline will compare at all to the NBA trade deadline? Like, it had people biting their fingernails, going crazy, not knowing what was going to happen. And you know, it sucks that the Chiefs didn't do anything, but you know, some teams got stronger. Shout out to the Dolphins. Bradley Chubb going to the Dolphins, you know, is big time. But shout out to the NFL, man. Like, I remember years where the trade deadline was nothing at all. Like, it was kind of like, you didn't even know the day. Now everybody, you know, was ready for this trade deadline. It was very exciting. And it's just going to lead to the second half of the season where the Chiefs show their dominance once again and get back to another AFC championship.
Stoked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We get it. Brian, go. I think you have something.
Nah, man, I just think that Vrabel is an underrated coach. He and the Titans always play the Chiefs really, really close. It's always a fist fight with them. So I hope the Chiefs eat their Wheaties on the night before. Yeah. I got a question for you all before we wrap up, because it's something interesting going on Thursday night football. Let's say that the Chiefs and 49ers were playing a week 8 or week 9 matchup, right? And let's say that the Royals and the Giants were in the World Series game 4 or game 5, whichever it is. That's happening on this same night during the same time. Which game are you watching?
Noah and I are out of this. You don't even need to ask us.
It's Chiefs for you all. No Royals for you all. Michael, what base? You can apply to it. Who you watching?
I'm not watching the Royals play,
or just go, or the Dodgers.
In the World Series.
What if it's the Dodgers?
Dodgers. I'm watching the Chiefs play. I'm gonna have the score like sitting there, you know, watching it from the side. But
I'd rather watch an old Chiefs preseason game with Ricky Stanzi at quarterback than watch the Royals in the World Series.
Oh my God, Shaggy, I know you're a Royals fan. Come on.
Yeah. What we did in 1980, the closest the Royals had to play in the Chiefs played Denver, and then the game ended, and then we were lucky because game 5 of the World Series was against the Phillies in October of 80, and the games didn't overlap, but it got close to, and we just put one TV on top of the other. But I'm going back to 1980 and how we did things in 1980 when I was 10 years old. I don't know how you guys – I'm sure people use their phones now. But it is an interesting scenario, and it's an interesting question. Yeah. It's fun to talk about. I'm sure talking sports shows love that kind of stuff because it is.
Philadelphia is going to be hot.
Yeah, I don't know what Philly fans are doing. Are they choosing the Eagles? Are they choosing the Phillies in the World Series?
Brian, the question for you is: Game 7 World Series in Kansas City or the Super Bowl? Which game are you choosing?
Chiefs, Super Bowl. Okay. Super Bowl. I mean, Super Bowl is super corporate. Like Super Bowl is super corporate, and this probably wouldn't be as fun as they are Arrowhead or whatever. But it's a Super Bowl.
I like it.
Look, we're doing hypotheticals, Brian. You led into my final topic for this evening. What if, let's go back to that 2017 draft, the Chiefs didn't take Patrick Mahomes. Let's say the Bears fell in love with him and they moved up to number 2 to take Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs are left with this.
Oh, hell no. We just won't take no. We would have took Watson.
Yeah,
we took Watson. No Trubisky. No, sir.
What if the Bears take Watson? The Saints move up. They get their Mahomes, as Sean Payton had said that they were wanting to do there at 11, and the Chiefs.
He was Alex
their laps.
I'll be Marty McFly and go back and we'll tell Andy Reid to draft Kamara. There we go. Problem solved.
I think you keep Alex Smith, or maybe you look at Mitch as like we can make him maybe a younger Alex Smith. But I think Brian is right. They don't take a quarterback. They're like, all right, we got to take somebody else because we have to wait until like Pat was just that guy. That's why you had to.
And you hold on to Alex Smith for one more year. 18, go get Josh Allen.
There we go.
There you go.
I think we just take guards both years.
Or Lamar.
17 and 18.
Yeah, or Lamar.
Yeah.
Thank God that didn't happen.
We'd have the guard position sewn up.
Come on. Okay. Now, so now we're gonna do a little overtime with the show since Clint wants to go there, and you still don't know the difference between a great offensive line and a bad one. You still don't. You see the Bengals yesterday.
You keep misquoting
You
me.
see
It's
the
a middle of the
Bengals?
road offensive line and a bad offensive line.
So, okay, the Bengals are the worst offensive line, but Lord,
They're
against a superior defensive line, you see what happens.
You see what happens. That you absolutely do. And
this is the comment that I wanted from one of you guys. It didn't get there. I would have quit being a Chiefs fan if we took Trubisky. I think I might have been there as well.
I would have had a Trubisky jersey.
Hey, our quarterback, I was there with Brody Croyle as the quarterback. Right. I'm willing to stick through anything.
Bro, that would have been
the straw that broke the back. I'm sorry.
It's still number 7 Matt Castle jerseys over here on 35th and Prospect floating around. All right? We live through Castle. We can live through anything.
Yeah, you missed on Mahomes. Oh, I couldn't watch Mahomes. I don't know how Bears fans do it. They're sitting here watching Trubisky, now Justin Fields, and we could have had Mahomes.
We watched Dan Marino all them years.
Yes, no doubt.
As I was a young kid, I was stupid. I was like, Bono's the best.
We watched Rich Gannon go get an MVP.
Yeah,
and we had him on the bench. There's nothing we can't withstand. We withstood it all.
I think Mahomes winning a Super Bowl and being the best quarterback in NFL history and setting all these records, I think that would have been the one that did me in.
We didn't have the 10th pick. We traded up, so we weren't expected to go get a quarterback. So that's why it wouldn't have been as bad. But we don't have to worry about that, guys. We have 15. Now we can turn up and have fun every day, every night, knowing that our quarterback is going to be the best guy on every Sunday football field.
Guys, thanks so much for being a part of Arrowhead Allies. Thanks to the Allies, everybody representing their shirts today. Looking great. Designed by our good friend Noah Groninger. You can go get them. Go to our Facebook page on Starkey Media and click shop now. You can get one right now. Who wouldn't want this? So guys, thanks so much.
Shouts to whoever commented about Chiefs great Tyler Thigpen. Love that 2008 Chiefs team.
Oh boy, we're going to talk about that one next week, folks.
Best 2-14 team of all time.
Tyler Thigpen for president.
Boo.